Yes, there's a lot of problems right now in the city. There's killings every single day. It's terrible. You do feel very insecure when you go there. I was just there about a week ago. It's very sad to me to see what's happening in my city, especially after what Juarez has done for so many Mexicans, millions of Mexicans of other states. We've given them jobs, a place, you know, to live, a better life than what they had in their own little towns or cities. And I guess it's just one of those border problems we have in Mexico, United States, which is, the passing through of so many drugs that are coming into this country that has created such a such an important space for drug cartels to go across, and that has just been very bad. And this is not great, but it's not just Juarez, that's going through that in my country. It's other states, especially the border cities, that are going through these problems. What people in Juarez do have that other cities who are going through pretty much the same ordeals is that we don't keep quiet. The people from Juarez are uniting, and especially the business people are really uniting with each other to try to solve the problems that we're going through. We speak up. We are really trying to fight through social programs, in connection and working with local, state, and federal governments to see what we can create socially to overcome what we're going through. And I think that's one of the differences that the people from the state of Chihuahua, not just Juarez, have. We're people who have been, working all our lives, who guerreros. How do you say that in English? We're warriors, and I think that's one of the characteristics that we have. We just don't sit there and wait to see what's going to be next.
Strikes to me because in Colombia we had a similar situation. Medellin was at the time one of the most dangerous cities in the world, and the big drug cartels. Pablo Escobar was from Medellin, and all the sicarios, the people that were paid to kill everybody, were precisely from Medellin. But and it was talk a lot that precisely because the people in Medellin are very driven people, and they were saying, okay, it's precisely because of that. And now after the drug cartels were swift and shifted in many different ways, now Medellin is thriving again, and so can we say that we can have hope in the same way in Juarez?
Absolutely. We have not lost, and I hope we never lose the hope that we do have, that we will change the city itself. I do have to say there's a huge difference between Medellin and Juarez. They call the cartel of Juarez the people who are, the drug lords there. There's nobody from Juarez. They come from the other states, like Sinaloa, for example. They call it the cartel of Juarez because they decided to, make their roots there. But they are people from other states, and yes, we do believe and we do have hope that working together, and with the spirit that we have, we are going to overcome this. It's not going to be easy, and it's not going to be, in the short run, but absolutely, we're convinced that we are going to change that.
That's great news. You're not only the CEO of OmniLife, you guys also own the most popular soccer team
Last night we
in
won.
Mexico.
Yes.
Which is Chivas.
Yes.
I want to know how do fans feel about a woman, a couple, but you're managing that, managing the most
The best team in the country.
famous and popular team in the country.
Well, I don't deal with the football end of the team
And also, how
because,
much you know about soccer?
well, when Jorge invited me to come on board and be the CEO for OmniLife and Chivas, I started a few months prior to actually, taking over, studying what football was. At the time, I would call it football, soccer, and Jorge said, no, there's only one football. I said, no, there's football americano. He said, no, this is football, the other one's U.S. football. So what I did is that I got together with this one man who works for me, who used to be in Fuerzas Básicas, who had no idea what it was. And, he drew up a field and told me how many players were there. I had no idea how many players, were on each team, what they did with little shorts running against the ball in the field. I did know about American football and baseball. This was 2.5 years ago. No, 3 years ago. By now it's 3 years. I did know baseball. I've been watching baseball with my dad since I was a very little girl. And I did know American football, which, I liked a lot. Soccer, never in my life. So what I did was what I do every time I don't know something and I want to learn because I have an interest in it, is I started learning through people who knew and reading a lot of newspapers. First time in my life I started buying Record, Cancha, Esto. I could not believe that I was reading about soccer. And so little by little I started, learning about football. And of course I never missed a match. Now, I'm glued to the TV, especially when Chivas plays. But I like watching the other teams, especially the ones that compete very closely with Chivas. I watch the news, the sports news, and I really enjoy that. But when when they realized that it was a woman who was on Chivas at that time, Chivas football was not going great. And guess who was to blame for all the faults that the team was having on the field? All the news. I mean, there were some very nasty things, said about me, really bad.
Because you were a woman.
Because I was a woman and because the team was not doing well, because I was probably on the field telling them what to do, which I had no clue, at the beginning what they were doing. But I was very good at administering the team, We negotiated incredible contracts, and I did have to say that, yes, I did that. And slowly but surely, I started, saying, I don't have any interference with football. I'm doing the administrating part, of the team, that needs to be done in order for them to be those 90 minutes every week on the field. And then the team this year started doing great. How many people said Angelica had something to do with that? Not one. Not one. And that's understandable. It's very hard. Now, that has probably been even tougher than being on the business side of the country. It's very hard for them to understand that a woman can actually run an institution that has to do with football, not the actual game itself, because I would be very irresponsible, in emitting an opinion on something that I really don't feel very comfortable in doing. We just closed a deal with one of our strikers, Chicharo. He's Javier Hernandez, but everybody knows him by Chicharo. He was actually, I think, New York Times, ¿verdad? Right before we negotiated his transfer to Manchester United, first Mexican that's going to be going directly from a Mexican team to the European team. And of course, the first dealings with Jorge, he explained to me the importance of Manchester United, as far as football. Those are the things that I'm learning. And Sir Alex Ferguson, who is the coach, it's like a priest, saying you want to go and study with the Pope. And so I kind of understood, because we had other offerings. And to me, what was important, right? The negotiation of the price. And he said, no, Angelica, this is very important. You have no idea where he's going, what this is going to mean for Chivas. And when he explained that, the people from England came and we did the negotiation. When Jorge told him the financial part you're going to see with Angelica, the Englishmen were just like, a woman, a Mexican woman, in football. And so I did that part, and that was very interesting, seeing the different reactions of people and, having a hard time accepting that a woman can negotiate certain things, even if it's football. I was not negotiating how incredible his legs were or how many, goals he could make, but it was the other part that I could understand, and it had nothing to do whether you're a man or a woman. You just, can do that. But it's been fun. It's been very interesting, and I'm enjoying it.
When we say Angelica is an expert in football, that she stands up in front of the TV and say, hey, that's was afuera de lugar. Do you say that?
There's one rule. If you understand outside, fuera de lugar,
Yes.
which woman 99% don't,
Do not get it, that's right.
she did it.